Hi everyone, I'm Rachel. Welcome to our channel. In today's video, I'm going to be talking about setting goals that will set you up to have a good year. So before I get started, I wanted to remind you to hit the subscribe button if you want to see more videos from the Family of 5 Quick Tips, and hit the bell if you want to be notified when we upload new videos every Tuesday morning. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. So the first goal I want to talk about is following Instagram accounts that bring value to your life. So let me give you an example of that. So I follow this Instagram account called Simplified, and every January and July, they do this thing where they give you one task every day to do to simplify your life. So a few examples of that is, I think on the first day they always say, grab a trash bag, walk around your house, find things to donate, be ruthless, fill it up. Another day, they talk about cleaning out your refrigerator. They talk about calling and putting your name on the do not call list so you don't get spam phone calls as often. Another day is clean out your purse. And one of the things that they had us do was organize your phone. This one added the most value to me. So she talked about going through your phone and deleting any contacts that you no longer need. And then she talked about organizing your apps. And for me, that is very overwhelming to be that detailed in organizing. And so I decided to do it. So what she recommends doing is on the first page of your phone, having the most used apps there. So for example, for me, that's like our bank account, our grocery store app, my notes app, the alarm. I like to listen to audiobooks, so the apps that I use for that, my Amazon and Target apps and that kind of thing. And then on the second page, she talks about grouping your apps together by color. So I would do all my red apps together, and I would, instead of labeling it or naming it something, I just put like 3 little red hearts under it. So I know all the red apps go there. Then all the orange ones, green ones, blue ones, black, white, everything like that. So this was huge for me. It seems small, but it really did simplify my life and make me feel a little more organized. And most importantly, it allows me to find apps so much easier. So for me, when I think of an app that I need to use, I will picture what it looks like, and then I'm able to know, okay, I need to go to blue. And so for me, it's really worked out. I've been able to find all the apps that I need very quickly, and it just honestly overall feels good. So that's an example of an account that would add value to your life if it affected you the way it has for me. So going back to the purpose of those tasks, by the time you get to the end of January, you would have done 31 things to simplify your life, and that makes a huge impact on your life. So that's just one that I follow that I really love. You can follow budgeting accounts, just different things like that, things that motivate you, just anything that can add value to your life is a very good way to set yourself up to have a good year. So the next thing I want to talk about is setting a goal to unclutter your house. So for me, I've been on this journey of uncluttering our house for a few years. I found minimalism a few years ago, and I really like the concept of living a simple life with not so much clutter around your house. A few years ago, we had 2 very small girls, and I felt like I was spending a lot of time cleaning. And we were really busy with the kids, work, school, everything. And I just felt like I was spending a lot of time cleaning, picking things up. Or the worst part of all for me is something that I consider like pushing things around the house. So let me give you an example of that. So I would walk into the kitchen and need to put something down on the counter or something. And there's something there. Let's say it's pens or like a pad of paper or like, I don't know, a toy or just something that I need, but that doesn't belong there. And I'd pick it up and I wouldn't have time to put it away. So I'd go put it on another counter. And so I felt like I was doing that all the time. So then I'd go over here to this counter at some other point during the day or the next day, and that would be in my way, so I'd move it around. So for me, that item and many items in our home did not have a place. And so I never knew where to put it. So I was constantly pushing it around the house. And sometimes, and that even relates to my kids' toys. So I felt like we had so many toys in the playroom, and my girls would not even play with some of their toys, but they would be put away in a bin, and they wanted to get to other toys. So they would be digging through and move those toys on top out of their way, and then get to what they want to play with. And then I was constantly having to pick up those toys that they weren't even playing with. They were just in the way of them getting to the toys that they really wanted to play with. So what I ended up doing is just taking a look at all the things we had. And it was kind of one of those things where I really had to realize even though we spent money on some of these things and I didn't want to get rid of it, my kids didn't even care if we had it or not. So my husband and I decided to go through the playroom, get rid of all the toys that were not being played with, and kind of have a fresh start. And then from that point on, we've tried to be very intentional about what we bring into our house so that we don't create that problem all over again. And also a big part of decluttering your house is really finding a place for everything. So if your playroom needs more bins to put the toys in, or you need to clean out some cabinets, getting rid of things that you've never used to make space for the things that you truly do need to use and store, you need to do that. Overall, you just want to go through your house, declutter. Look at the things that you own, look at the things that you have. The goal here would be to go through your home and decide what you no longer need so that you can make space for the things that you truly do want to keep in your home and have a place for them. So you're not spending so much time cleaning and finding a place for something, or like I was doing, pushing things around the house from one counter to the next, to the table, to the living room, to the playroom. It was just madness. So that's something that we're constantly working on, always being careful what we bring into the home. And when we do bring new things into the home, taking out the things that we no longer need and trying to keep on top of tasks like mail and paper and all the things that, we don't want to do. Okay, so let's go ahead and talk about eating healthy. So I know a lot of people like to have this on their goals or resolutions list every year. So the approach that I would recommend would be, rather than saying on this day, I'm no longer gonna eat bad, I'm gonna eat healthy 100%, there's other ways that you can approach something like that. So one example would be just to put more good into your diet rather than eliminating everything bad. So an example of that would be, let's pretend you're having dinner, say it's chicken, and typically maybe you'd have pasta and a roll with that. So maybe a way to add more good to your diet would be to add maybe a side of broccoli and maybe take out the roll and add a salad. So you're still getting the pasta if that's what you want, but you're adding more good into your meal. Another way to approach it would be maybe focusing on one meal at a time. So an example of that would be if you want to start drinking a smoothie every morning and don't really focus on your lunch or your dinner at this point, just know every single day or every weekday you're gonna have a smoothie in the morning, and you can eventually get to the lunch and dinner meals and make those healthier, but at least you know you're taking care of one meal at this point. And so if you want an example of a good smoothie, my husband made a video on the one that we drink every morning. So that would be an easy way to reach a goal of eating healthier and not being so overwhelmed at the idea of just changing your entire diet on one day, and this is really a good way to ease into it. The next goal is to set a goal to read at least one nonfiction book every month. So I know we're all busy, kids, work, school, all the things. So don't be afraid to listen to an audiobook. You don't have to read a book to take in the information. So for me, we have 3 kids, we're super busy also, and I don't always have time to sit down and read a book or even sit down and listen to a book. But I have a tip for you. So there are a couple book apps that I like to listen to audiobooks on, and we also did a video on that, and I'll link that above. But I like to listen to free audiobooks on those apps, and I like to listen as I am doing chores around the house. So when my kids go to bed, I need to do things like make bottles, wash dishes, fold clothes, and just pick up. So I will just put my earbuds in and I will walk around the house cleaning, washing dishes, making bottles, all the things, and listen to the audiobook. So that's a really good way to make the chores not be so terrible and really just give yourself a chance to listen to a book. Another good goal is to make some new routines. So over the last year, we've all had our lives changed as we have been going into quarantine because of the virus. And I feel like that was something that really shook up a lot of routines that we had. Just take a look at all your routines and maybe consider changing them up a little bit. So this would be after school, after work routines, bedtime routines, morning routines with your kids, your own morning routine. Just kind of take a look at everything and see what you're doing and if it is something that you want to continue doing or if maybe it's time to make some changes. So an example of this for us is that after we had our 3rd baby, I decided to start trying to spend as much alone time with each of my kids as I could so that they felt like they were getting some attention from us, some one-on-one attention from us. And one of the things I started doing was like after school, or just on a weekend in the morning. Whenever there was really some downtime, I would just grab one of the girls and I would say, hey, let's go for a walk. So we would just go walk around, just a 15, 20-minute walk where we can talk and they can feel listened to and special, and they just felt like they have the opportunity to say whatever it is that, they want to tell me. And so what I usually do is start asking questions. Some of the things I'll ask is, how's school going? Just ask them about some of their friends, or I like to ask them things like, what are we doing at home that you like and then that you don't like? So after school, is there something you want to do more of? Do you want to, ride your bike more? Do you want to play outside? Or do you, want to read more books before bed? Or do you prefer to do your sight work, look over your sight words at a different time? Things like that. Another thing that I asked just recently in a little story that I have is, I was walking around with my oldest and, I was asking her, is there anything you want? Is there anything that you want me to make for dinner or just anything like that? And she told me that she really liked it whenever I would make lasagna and we would have garlic bread. The garlic bread that comes in like that foil and you just put it in the oven and then it's just fresh from the bakery and it's so good. She was just asking me to make that again because I hadn't made it in a while. And honestly, I try not to bring so much bread into the house, especially bread that I love, and that's garlic bread. And so I kind of just was being selfish with that. Well, if the bread's not there, then I'm not going to eat it, but she really likes it. And if that's something that she really wants and it popped in her head that she wants, I have no problem buying you some $3 garlic bread to give you a meal that you really love. And so you better believe I put that in my grocery cart and we are having that this weekend. So just something, that's just something that she wanted, and going on a walk and giving her the opportunity to speak about something like that really just allowed her to say it. And I think that's special. And it's just a good time to bond with them. It gets you out of the house, it's some exercise, and really allows you to step away from some of the chaos that can happen after school. So the next goal is to unclutter your mind. So for me, this means to get more organized in my life so that I don't have to hold on to so much up here. So that would mean helping my husband understand the things that I need to do, as well as him letting me know what he needs to do so we're on the same page about a lot of things. Having a planner to organize your schedule. So let me give you an example of what my husband and I are currently working on. So for us, and actually any parent out there, we all have things that we need to do at night to allow us to have a good morning. And so for us, that's make bottles, wash dishes, pick up the kitchen, pick up things around the house, get water bottles ready for my girls for school. One of my daughters needs to bring a snack to school every day. We ask her to get it ready, but one of the things we need to do is make sure that it's ready so we don't have to scramble and find something for her. So we just have all those things to do. And so what Joel and I found that we were doing is he was doing a lot of things at night and I was doing a lot of things at night. But for me, I knew that these certain things needed to be done before I would go to bed. And Joel had his own list of things that needed to be done before he was going to bed. They didn't really go together. Not all the things, at least. And so we have been trying to sit down and really think about what are the 6 or 7 things that have to be done before we go to bed. That way we can do those at a minimum if we are so tired and done with the day, and we can just do them and be done and go to bed. Other days you might do a little bit more, but we both needed to know that these are the required things that need to be done before we go to bed. And what we have found is that if we are both working on those same things, and I'm not having to tell him and I'm not like stressed about it, and he's not having to ask me what needs to be done or tell me the things that he thinks needs to be done, we both can look at a list, know we need to do these, and we will start working on it. And we have found that it really only takes about 15 to 20 minutes if we're both working on these things. He can empty the dishwasher while I'm making bottles, and then I can wash dishes while he is cleaning off the counters or picking up around the house. So we've really found that if we just work together on those same few things, then it doesn't take that much time. We feel more prepared in the morning, and I don't feel stressed out. Really just makes me feel like my mind is uncluttered. I did what I needed to do, and Joel knows what we need to do, and we're on the same page. And the last goal is to exercise. So exercise can look different for everyone. It can just be a walk around the neighborhood, or a bike ride with your kids, or an actual workout routine in your living room, or even going to the gym. I think the most important thing here is just to move your body. When you do that, you just feel good, and once you do it often enough, you get to the point where you really feel like you need to do it every day, and it doesn't feel like so much work. And it'll give you more time with your kids outside, when you ride bikes with them or walk with them while they ride their scooter, things like that. That's just a good way to get healthier in the new year. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you want to see more from the Family 5 Quick Tips, hit the subscribe button. Thanks for watching.